You are busy marching into businesses now, threatening the business owners, intimidating the workers, and trying to force employers to hire people under fear instead of merit. You're fucking hard. You think you are defending South Africa?
The AU, the Ghana response was not necessary because it now creates an impression that we are all like that.
People come to Strata to make sure that we have been asking you guys to take those guys away so that South Africa, and they don't want foreigners. Yes. It's not us, it's South Africa. They don't want foreigners.
To be quite honest, it's been a very mixed emotions, living in South Africa. It's not been easy, but it's one of those things, that we have to live with. But most importantly, it's just very delightful to see a whole bunch of Nigeria going home.
You are busy marching into businesses now, threatening the business owners, intimidating the workers, and trying to force employers to hire people under fear instead of merit. You're fucking hard. You think you are defending South Africa? You're bloody Brexham. You are taking the very same rule of law. A job cannot be created by intimidation. You're a muskont. An economy cannot grow through fear. You're a puss. Businesses don't become stronger just because you are making noise outside their gates like a bunch of chimpanzees. You're a world cup. Every employer has the responsibility to comply with the South African labor and immigration laws. If someone is employed illegally, there are legal authorities to deal with it. Puss. You don't have a right to appoint yourself as a police officer, prosecutor, judge, and executioner of public opinion. You bloody morons. If you want to protect South Africa, then respect South Africa's laws. You fucking hard. Harassing shop owners, threatening employees, and disrupting businesses drives away the very same business, destroys confidence, and puts South Africa's job at even greater risk. You claim to defend jobs, but end up damaging the economy that creates those jobs, you fucking fools. If you call yourself a patriot, then start your damn business and hire the people you want, you fucking fool. And stop terrorizing ordinary people trying to earn an honest living, you chicken shit and footsack.
And we have asked you guys to come with Home Affairs to do your job. Yes. So that we can be free in Situate. Now in Situate, there was a guy called Keswa. A guy from Zimbabwe wanted to burn his shack with his children inside.
A guy from Zimbabwe wanted
to burn the shack of the guy called Keswa, the one who was arrested yesterday. That's why you see us here.
Okay.
So that guy, he came to report to us. We have asked that guy to leave our area, as we didn't want that violence. We leave him like that. In the evening, he came to station to open case against that Madala wanted to burn his shack.
The Zimbabwean guy came to open the case?
Yes.
Okay.
So now our guy is inside here, and they didn't do nothing. So now we are worried because we are trying to engage with you guys. We didn't get assistance. Now we are stuck.
What was the planning? Sorry to disturb.
The planning, it was
last week as we agreed.
Last week we have agreed that you guys will bring police, Home Affairs, and everything.
And did we have that operational plan?
Not yet.
That plan?
Not yet. But much and much. It's around. It's around South Africa. Everywhere there is much and much.
Okay, so
and
we're not proper planning. In other words.
Yes, there was no proper planning.
We need to rectify that thing.
Yes.
Because the guys that came to me last week, if you were sitting with me in the boardroom,
yes,
I said, let's have a proper planning and we will assist you, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you remember?
I remember.
So I said, once we have that planning, I will sign that document. But this is how we need to do it. We had a long, nice discussion.
Yes.
And Sector 1 promised me, Stratlas Section promised me. They said, listen, we want to work with you as the police and the police is going to work with us.
Yes.
So let's get this thing done. We even drew up a timetable to say every Thursdays or every other days as picked up by us, the tendencies. Even if it's not a Thursday. If we decide it will be a Friday, it will be a Friday. So all those operations must be approved by me. And then we must put it on the system. And then the leaders of Sector 1, let me call it Sector 1. The leaders of Sector 1, you must go back to the community and say, right, on that day and that day and that day, we had the operations. These are the successes of the operations. On that day, I'm giving an example. Let's say we arrested 10. The other day, I said for the month, you have arrested 50. I said this is an ongoing thing. This is an ongoing thing. We should not stop. So I gave you that. So that did not materialize.
Yes.
Because why? Who were you supposed to work with? In Gobeni? The sector commander?
Gobeni.
So it didn't work out.
No.
So you see where the problem lies.
And
we give instructions, we give a direction to work together. People do not comply with those instructions. Yeah. And no one told me up to now that you called me on a Saturday to say, look, this operation didn't take place. Now we're going to lead up to this. The second thing is, the guy that's arrested here, what is he arrested for?
We are not
GBH.
sure, but they said it's GBH.
Right. If he's arrested for GBH, I must contact now the branch commander. I must get that docket. I must see the merits of the docket. Before I can answer you, let me see what is the merits of the docket. Can we charge him? Can we release him? Does he do after hours bail application? We must follow the processes. A crime has been committed according to the Zimbabwean, right? Yeah. He alleged that there is a crime that's been committed. Let us investigate it. You can come with me, whoever is involved here. Let us go and check the docket and we take it from there. And we solve the problem.
Okay.
That's what needs to happen. It's a process.
Another thing before you go and check the docket.
What I'm saying is, we've given our commitment last week. I think it was last week, Monday.
Yeah, last week.
We've given our commitment. We don't want to go back. We don't want to end up in a process now where we're going to end up fighting each other. We are one. Remember, this is your police station.
Yes.
We are working as one. Now, if we're going to end up fighting and we're going to end up not understanding each other, then this agreement, it will fall away. Then I'm going to go back to the old agreement. We will work when we want to work. But I gave you that commitment. If you come with a plan, you come with an identification, you say, that house, that business, that house, that business. Let's work together. Let's put an open... Remember, you must give me information. Ne? As a community, you give me information. Then we must act. And then we give you the feedback. So let's not go back on our agreement. Do we agree on that?
Yeah, we agree.
Right,
but there is something I wanted to add, Chairman, before you come in. There is this issue. Yeah, I was there. There is this issue of Warrant Officer Ngobeni. We are not happy the way he's treating us.
Then what we'll need to do is we need to sit back in the drawing board. If you are not happy, you put in a complaint with me.
Yeah.
And we change him as a sector commander.
Yeah, that one can work for us. Because
but we need that process to follow.
Yeah.
You can't come in the sky and say, I don't like Ngobeni. Let us follow that process. Yes. If Ngobeni is not performing the way we agreed, because he was the lead, remember, he's your mini station commander, sector commander. Ne? He's the person that you are reporting everything to. Yeah. And he must report to me. So every Monday, I will have a feedback from him. In your sector, how many was it? He must give me a feedback. But if you are not happy, then you can write me a letter to say, complaint against the police station commander. I'm not happy because of 1, 2, 3. He's either not listening or not complying or we're not working together. Then I can investigate that part. And then I say, okay, let me give you someone new or you must change your ways. Something.
Let me bring this conversation to one of the Nigerians living in South Africa, who has lived in South Africa for long. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We have seen fellow Nigerians living in South Africa. What are they saying, and what has been your experience, you as a Nigerian in South Africa, as a Nigerian?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. Well, to be quite honest, it's been a very mixed emotions, living in South Africa. It's not been easy, but it's one of those things, that we have to live with. But most importantly, it's just very delightful to see a whole bunch of Nigeria going home. The federal government of Nigeria have done so well, because without them, a lot of people will still be stuck here and going through what they are going through. And to be quite honest, we commend them, and we commend the arrangement within the embassy and the consulate and what they've done for our people. It's quite very interesting, and we have to say this, that South Africa is very hostile to us as Nigerians, and that is the honest truth. But like I said, the most important thing is people have realized it and people have started going home, and all thanks to the federal government of Nigeria, the Nigerian embassy and the Nigerian consulates.
Have you faced hostility yourself?
Not at this particular time, but in previous xenophobic attacks. I've been here for more than 20 years, and I've gone through a series of xenophobic attacks, but I've not been involved in this very one. But yes, I've experienced in the past.
Have you maybe spoken to some of your fellow citizens who are living, and what are they saying?
Well, yes, I have. I've spoken to them. Like I said, it's that of delight, it's that of joy, it's that of appreciation that finally someone has come to their aid, and finally they are going back to their motherland to start again. But it's not a bad thing to start again. That's life, you know. Failing or falling down does not mean the end of the world. One just have to pick himself up again, and I'm sure a lot of them will do quite well, better than they are doing in South Africa, trust me.
But also we heard from Home Affairs that all of them, they are undocumented in South Africa, which is also not a good thing to be in the country illegally. What do you have to say?
No, that's right. And you see, as Nigerians, that's the narrative we are trying to prevent, because we know what happens, and until we begin to tell our stories, when we leave our stories for people to tell them, then they are going to say the negative part of it. I don't believe so, you know, but I mean, like we know, in today's world, you know, propaganda is part of the game, and it's all propaganda. I do not have that information for sure in totality, but I'm very sure that that is not the case.
The Ghana response was not necessary because it now creates an impression that we are all like that, when it is a certain section of our society that needs to be contained by law enforcement. And one Ghanaian lady was saying, you see, the problem is, and I wouldn't have taken this option, the problem is we're being beaten in front of the police and the police are not doing anything. That's the problem. And when this opportunity came for me to leave, I left, because if the police can't defend me, it means the state is in agreement with the people who are beating me. So we think it was too quick. We'll still resolve this, and President of Ghana should have given us, you know, some time to really deal with this matter, and we'll get to the bottom of it. We hope they will come back to their senses. We don't have to respond the same way they did. We need to pursue the diplomatic engagements with Ghana until we find one another. We don't think Ghana responded in a manner that really reinforces dialogue and diplomatic engagements. It actually creates a very bad, extreme situation, which is not. It's a selected few, and we are pursuing and persuading government to still act on those few, and we're saying to them, they must give us some time, they must be patient, and those who don't feel safe, especially the legally documented Ghanaians, should be able to run to police stations for safety, and then they will be directed to rightful places where they will be secured. But, you know, it's an emotional issue for many of them, understandably so, but the reaction of government should have been, postponed a bit to give us an opportunity to deal with what is happening here in South Africa.
My last question, I'm sure the colleagues would also want to talk about local issues. The issue here, you also have genuine concerns by South Africans. I mean, 30 years on.